some questions. Let's call it a Q&A, but we'll be going through some questions that I got over the comments. If you're new to the channel, welcome to Zip Code, where we talk all things software engineering. We're talking back-end microservices architecture and Spring Boot development, and we also do front-end Angular development. We cover cloud development as well, particularly AWS cloud or AWS services. And we also do database development as well. So if you are looking at a full stack sort of a suite, in this channel, we cover a broad range in terms of applications development and delivery in all those fields. So today, I got a question from one of the viewers in the channel. So in the comments section, I received a question regarding, is Spring Boot relevant in this current day and age? Or and also the second part of the question is, what IDEs do I use to write Spring applications? So I'll go through all of that, and I will cover all of these two questions, which are particularly detailed. But yeah, let's proceed with that. So Spring Boot is a open source Java-based application development framework. So it comes with it's sort of like a modular-based standalone application development framework. So it enables developers to create modularized applications or web application, if I can put it that way. It's not only web application, it can be just a purely back-end application that's just sitting there to run automatically to process data integration or data publishing to other sources or to external dependencies. So what Spring Boot offers in this current day and age is the capability to write code, package the code, and deliver that particular application. So it's a production ready sort of a framework that packages everything into one small application that you can deploy easily without configuring all these other things, your application servers, um, your um, your application properties management, environment setups, and things like that. You can do all of that packaging within that one um, Spring Boot application. So I'm trying to make it as simple as possible so that you understand that the framework itself, in the current state, it caters for the segregation and decoupling of responsibility across different domains. And because of that capability, it has been widely adopted. So the one key thing that makes a language or a software engineering tool to be relevant and also grow into the next coming years, for the next couple of years, you're still going to be using Spring Boot because it has been widely adopted across different industries and it solves different use cases. I would say quite fantastically, if I can put it that way. You're looking at AI, Spring Boot is there. If you're looking at fintech, AI is there. Spring Boot is there. So if you're looking at data streams, Hadoop, machine learning, these are conversations that are all over the world being spoken about, and Spring Boot is not even missing anything in terms of those conversations. It's part and parcel of the development infrastructure. So every software engineer that develops in Spring Boot would tell you that you have capabilities to plug into your cloud with just setting up your properties within the microservice or that particular module in the application, and you can deliver a highly scalable solution, and you will be able to deliver a highly performing application in Spring Boot. You don't need to go externally to find all of these features and capabilities or outsource any of these capabilities because the core features of Spring Boot are so widely used across different domains and across different spaces that it makes the framework itself feature rich and highly adopted. So with that question to say, is Spring Boot relevant? I would say definitely yes, it is relevant. What does it cover? It covers a wide range of use cases. It delivers to a number of different domains, and it is um, to to the um, to the level of software engineering that is um, used currently and the design patterns that are used currently and into the future. It is highly supported as well. That's one of the key components of knowing if the language is relevant or is going into the future is the support that it has because of it being open source. It allows and enables other contributors to build into this particular framework and support this particular framework to grow even bigger than what it currently is. So that's why now we have AWS SDK, for example, to integrate with AWS. So you can have an AWS S3 client to make your transactions with S3. So things such as easy as that make the framework highly adopted and easy to develop and maintain, right? So when developers see all of these capabilities and features, they are willing to use the tool and also contribute in the improvement of the tool. So that is one thing that is key in gauging sort of if a language is or a framework is relevant and it's going to be needed in the future as well. So if you want or if you're worried about job security, for example, um, there's a there's a massive need for developers, Spring developers, particularly in a microservices setting, because what microservices allows you to do is you can decouple a domain and be able to have all of these integration points to process different transactions, but they contribute to a single objective or deliverable of the particular business case. So in what Spring Boot is capable of, you have a plethora of opportunities because um, those different features that Spring Boot has cover a wide range of industries and it caters to most of these industries. Because of these industries, therefore, the lack of opportunities is nowhere near if you're a Java developer. There's always opportunities if you're a Java developer, particularly in Spring Boot and microservices. The big fintech companies, big corporates that are using Spring Boot and they are going to be using Spring Boot for the foreseeable future, that is not going anywhere. So features like integrating with a database, for example, say in for argument's sake, we use Postgres. Postgres is another open source database that you can use without acquiring licenses and things like that. You can use Postgres to integrate to your Spring application, and the setup is also as easy as defining the database properties in the config file. And once those properties are there, the Spring application itself can auto configure all of these things to connect to a database and start transacting without you even having to write any class. You just define the properties and you have a database connection. You add the dependencies and you're fine. You're good to go. So the ease of implementation when it comes to the features that you want to have in your application, it's so they've simplified it to a level where it's every feature you need is like a plug and play in Spring Boot. So the ease of implementation when it comes to development, the ease of rollout when it comes to production ready code, those are the features and capabilities that developers are always looking for because they make life easy to write code and deploy the code. So that is one thing that I appreciate about the implementation. And the other thing is data streams. Let's say RabbitMQ, you want to integrate to RabbitMQ, you want to have Kafka, things like that are very useful. Um, they are very key in big corporates because they want data almost real time. And if we were to put like a scenario, say you are dealing with transactions of hundreds of thousands um, a day. You want an application that can take that can handle those volumes and handle that traffic and be able to robustly respond to all of those transactions in a fast-paced environment. And you would expect that if there were issues with Spring Boot, it wouldn't be so widely adopted, but it can handle all of those processes and procedures. It can cover those business cases, and that is one of the things that um, companies appreciate about adopting such a framework because it's so robust and so fast paced in terms of delivery of what we are trying to achieve. The features are there, the implementation is there, the configurations are made easy and available. So all of these things they make life easier not only for developers but also for business cases as well. So all of these features, I'm mentioning them so that you understand that in the real world, this is what um, products, business use cases. These are the features that they are looking for to to transact, right? Essentially, every application that exists in the entire world it needs to transact. Whether you're creating a login, whether you're creating a registration, whether you are creating an e-commerce, you need users to be able to transact. And most of these applications they need to transact in real time, right? And some of these events that they are transacting on, they need to be communicated to a number of other systems, right? You need to communicate maybe a client purchasing something on your e-commerce. You need to communicate that, oh, I now we're moving from the cart, we're moving to a payment, right? All of those events, you need to make sure that they come through and you need to know if I get, let's say like an e-commerce example, if I get someone that has items in the cart, they go to payment but they get to payment, they don't have the funds, what happens? That's a different business flow, right? So in Spring Boot you can have all of these microservices that will handle all of these different business flows within the e-commerce to say this is how you add items into your cart. Once they're in the cart, we take that cart, we go to process the payment because we need to know how much all these items are. And therefore, when you send this to a payment gateway, we need to know how much the total is. And then we can be able to debit that amount and then allow the order to go through. But in real time, if you are getting 50,000 calls or a million calls, let's say maybe per minute, you need to be able to handle all of those calls within your e-commerce and be able to transact in real time because everyone is making an order in real time, right? So that is very key in covering for all of these use cases. And Spring Boot offers you all of these streaming capabilities, cloud integration capabilities, database transacting capabilities, and also the scalability of all of these, the ease of you, let's say maybe containerizing the application, creating Docker and running these microservices and be able to not only that, also monitor the application. So in Spring Boot, you also have Spring Boot admin just for monitoring your application. That comes in part and parcel of Spring framework, right? So you can have Spring Boot admin to monitor all your applications. Are they up? Are they down? What's going on? What's the status? Are they healthy? Or there's issues in the microservice, and you can be able to debug that and understand why your services are failing, and you will cater for that particular issue, right? And then also when it comes to service registry, service discovery, and things like that. So you can have an API gateway to make sure that all the traffic that you get, you can route it the correct way, and you can be able to set up mechanisms to make sure that your deployment or your containers in production, you can auto scale all of those things to cater for as traffic fluctuates, right? You have more numbers 1 hour, the next hour you might have fewer numbers, right? And if you set up all of these microservices in the right way, you realize that with Spring Boot alone, there's so much that has been made easy for the developer that delivering a solution is almost close to guaranteed. Because at times you wouldn't know the business case, right? But when you do know the business case, you understand the domain, you understand what is required. With Spring Boot, you will definitely be able to deliver, and you are guaranteed that with the implementation of the right resources, you'll be able to handle all of that business case or business requirement, whatever the case might be. But then the second part of the question that was asked was, which IDEs would I recommend for Spring Boot development? And I said to that, you have IntelliJ, right? IntelliJ is the master of Java IDEs. Let me put it that way. I'll just be honest with that. It's so feature rich. It enables you to connect to your databases in IntelliJ itself. You don't need to get out. You can connect to different services in IntelliJ, such as your Docker. You can see what's going on in there without going outside of IntelliJ. You are able to make API calls within IntelliJ for any of your APIs that you're developing in Spring Boot. You don't need to go out of the IDE to be able to test your APIs. You don't need to go to a Postman, for example, to test those APIs. So all of these capabilities are coming in just one IDE, and you wouldn't want to have that tool because it makes life easy, right? You open one tool and you use it for all of those development resources that you need, and you're able to transact in all of them as well. You're able to do your work, test, debug, and be able to then push your code into your Git repository as well. You don't need to get out of IntelliJ for you to merge your code into your GitHub or things like that. So things like that are what I appreciate about IntelliJ. It's so feature rich, it makes life easy, especially for Spring development. It has all of these Spring and Java capabilities that are just out of this world. I haven't seen a tool that is as close as IntelliJ is when it comes to development. But then the other ones is the the one con with IntelliJ is it has a trial period, and then after that you need to purchase a licensed use. So that's one thing that I would say. But besides that, it's all through and through a fantastic IDE that you can use. Then the other ones is Spring Tool Suite. Spring Tool Suite is as closest to IntelliJ can ever be. It's feature rich, particularly for Java and Spring development. It covers a lot of Spring development. It is a Spring Tool Suite after all. So all of these capabilities, your configs to connect to other services. I haven't used it for database, but I'm pretty sure it does have that capability, because I remember with AWS, I know for sure that you can connect some of your AWS services within the IDE itself just to test and see if your application is able to communicate with your AWS cloud and things like that. So that is one thing that I know for sure with Spring Tool Suite. It is also open source tool, so it makes life easy if you don't or you can't get to the IntelliJ Enterprise Edition. At least you can use Spring Tool Suite, and you should be fine with the development in that IDE. And the other one is Eclipse. So Eclipse is as the same as Spring Tool Suite. It has all the capabilities that Spring Tool Suite offers, uh, and it's more or less it's like the same as Eclipse. There's nothing that is different. It's just that Eclipse, I think, it focuses more on all the other development languages as well. Whilst Spring Tool Suite is much more, let's say, it's niche focused for Spring development, and that's the only difference between them. But you should be fairly good if you use Spring Tool Suite or IntelliJ, and that's how I would answer these two questions. If you like and appreciate this conversation, please do let me know in the comment section down below, and please do like and subscribe. And until the next one, you can pop your question as well. For now, cheers.